With every breath you take, every step you take, I'll be watching you. One Piece, chapter 1001. Welcome back, guys. My name is Sai. I will be your manga analyst, reviewer, person that talks to you today. Thanks for coming. Thanks for clicking on the video. Please subscribe already before the video even starts. Before you know what kind of content I put out there, please subscribe. Anyways, getting into this bitch. This chapter was phenomenal. I just gotta say that real quick. The camera's not focused. The camera's focused now. The fighting is phenomenal. This chapter was good. It was well worth the 2 weeks of waiting. Although I do believe that this chapter should have been chapter 1000. And don't get me wrong, I love chapter 1000. I saw that chapter. I did a little come tribute at the very end of it. It was awesome. But imagine if it ended where it did, right? You got Luffy hitting Kaido, Red Rock, awesome. And then Oda, all of a sudden, he takes over your computer. He takes over all the TV channel, the news channel stations, like fucking Travis Scott. And he's just like, hey guys, there's more. Like a bad infomercial, and then he drops this chapter 1000 part 2, and then we get this chapter. That would have been hype. That would have been a really good chapter 1000 reveal. That would have been a good New Year's present. It would have been amazing. But we waited 2 weeks, and here we are, and it was worth it. Regardless, at the end of the day, we gotta remember that it does take a long time for Oda to make these chapters. You know, like, imagine we're scrolling through chapters like these that have like fight scenes. They're super heavy on the fighting. There's little to no dialogue. There is dialogue, but it's just not as like like episodic. It's not as narrative as other chapters. We're scrolling through this bitch. It takes you about 5 minutes to finish it, right? And Oda over here takes at least 500 hours to draw this shit up. I bet at some points Oda is like sitting in the office and he's like, yo, like why did I make these characters so goddamn complex? Why did I give Kid the power to bring every single inanimate object to him? Like, why did I do this to myself? But yeah, regardless, jokes aside, onto the chapter. We get off the chapter with Kaido on his knees saying, wow, that attack actually hurt me. Like, what the fuck just happened there? Is Luffy the same caliber of man as Shanks, as Rocks, Roger, Odin, and Whitebeard? And I think it's kind of cool that Odin is included in there. Like, Odin is the only person in that like little like quintet that isn't a captain. Odin is just a random dude that's been in, the Whitebeard Pirates and in the Rogers Pirates. Like, that's all he is, right? Like how is Odin up there with Gold Roger, man? But also, you have to imagine these are people that Kaido respects too. Like, Kaido holds all these men to high regards. And that's why I'm assuming that we didn't see some other people. I bet there's people that are stronger than Kaido out there in the world that Kaido does know of, but I bet Kaido doesn't respect them as much as these men. And seeing that Luffy is being put in the same spotlight as them is like, wow, is Kaido acknowledging Luffy? Like, is this the first step to King of the Pirates recognition? I can almost see Morgan, Big News Morgan, coming out after the whole Wano arc saying, wow, Kaido acknowledges that Luffy's the Pirate King. Kaido places bet on him. Like, or some crazy shit like that. We do get a brief little summation of what everybody's thinking after the Red Rock attack. Zoro is like, wow, like Luffy's learning that kind of hockey. Like, that's crazy. Although Zoro is also kind of learning it right now, whether it be innately or purposefully. Zoro is getting that sort of hockey kind of with Enma right now, which is pretty cool. Kid has the most, oh man, they did him dirty. Not gonna lie, they did Kid a little bit dirty. Kid says, what was that? Was that hockey? Like, what was that move? And I'm just sitting here like, Kid, you are supposed to be this man's Sasuke. You're supposed to be like neck and neck with this guy. At least that's the way that Oda's trying to say it is, right? Like, Kid is essentially Luffy gone wrong. Luffy in a different dimension, bad guy Luffy. And Kid not knowing what that is kind of surprising. If I had to guess though, I will say that Oda's gonna show that Kid is a very quick learner, and I would almost place money on the fact that Kid will learn some sort of Rio during this fight. He's not gonna master it like Luffy did, of course. Well, Luffy is intermediate at it right now. But I bet Kid will somehow muster some Rio during this fight. I guarantee it. Killer surprisingly has a more calmer reaction than his captain, saying, whoa, fa. We do have a chance beating them, do we? And it's like, dude, Kid, they should have swapped those lines, right? Like that is a line from a captain. Kid's perspective, what he said is from the line of a subordinate. Just throwing that out there. I'm not trying to throw shade. I love Kid, but man, he downplays himself. And then Law, Law's just like, Law's just on something else right now. I'll get to that later. Law's having his own little like inner demons fight right now. But yeah, so Big Mom kind of berating Luffy, saying, yo, like, King of the Pirates, what a joke. Like, you're not gonna become King of the Pirates. Do you even know what it means to say that? And in my mind, it's like, Big Mom, out of anybody that could say they're gonna become King of the Pirates, you have to at least acknowledge Luffy. Luffy not only ran through your fucking fade in Wholecake Island, but he's fighting you and Kaido right now. Like, come on, put some respect on this guy. And it's just nuts, because like out of everybody that could say I can become King of the Pirates, Luffy saying it isn't too crazy, right? If some random no-name pirate at a bar, like in the beginning of One Piece, like if some mountain bandit said that, like, yeah, okay, like, yeah, sure, you're gonna become King of the Pirates, like, you have zero chance. But Luffy saying it, although his chance isn't as high as like Big Mom or Kaido, for example, he still has a chance. Luffy does have a percentage, like Hawkins, back in Sabaody Archipelago. Hawkins said, why will this guy's percentage never hit zero? That is what Luffy is with the King of the Pirates percentage. Luffy is not a zero. Luffy, whether it be a 1% chance, whether it be a 2% chance, Luffy has a chance to become King of the Pirates. And it's crazy that Big Mom doesn't acknowledge that. But also, I feel like she says that from a standpoint of fear. Honestly, Big Mom is fearful of Luffy. Big Mom is fearful of all of the worst generation, I guarantee you. Because imagine, you are Big Mom, you are the pinnacle of power. People fear you from across the realm. And then you get these little shits that walk up into you and say, hey, we're gonna take you guys down, we're gonna take your poneglyph, we're gonna destroy your island, we're gonna beat your commanders, and then we're gonna become the King of the Pirates, right? That's crazy. And while you believe that your power can destroy these guys and that these guys are being nuts, there is a small part that fears. There's always gonna be that fear of just like, what if they do beat us? What if Luffy is stronger than us and does become King of the Pirates? No, that can't happen. So what you do is you berate him for his dream, saying you can't do it. Like, she's almost like assuring herself that Luffy cannot become King of the Pirates because she wants to become King of the Pirates, or Queen of the Pirates. So I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if Oda meant it like that, but from a humanistic perspective, that's how it is seen. People that usually talk down on others in situations like these, it's because they're fearful of the potential of Luffy, for example. But yeah. Anyways, on to the fight. It's really cool. We get Kaido doing Thunderbagwa. Luffy tries to dodge it. He doesn't dodge it all the way. He gets hit by the tip, but he still survived. No KO. And Kaido's like, wow, you got fucking strong. Like, maybe I should go to prison and get that prison body. Like, which is no joke. If you've been to prison before or jail, like, you come back a little bit more ripped. Like, maybe Oda's trying to tell us something. Boys, see you in jail 2021. But yeah, Luffy survives that blow, and I think it's pretty cool because it's like, just seeing how much stronger Luffy got throughout like that whole like the past 30 chapters is pretty insane. From being one hit KO'd to actually surviving that hit, awesome. And I do watch a couple of other reviewers, namely Brago Diaz. He's a pretty cool guy, and he mentioned something that I thought of too, but I want to touch on it too. He says that in the anime, which I also watched as well, they show Luffy versus Kaido and Curry. They show that as a beam struggle, as he puts it. He says, wow, like it makes it seem like Luffy's putting up an okay fight against Kaido. Whereas in the manga, Kaido literally shows up and slaps Luffy, right? And power scaling wise, that's not a good good thing to have. Yeah, the manga is canon and the anime should follow that and should, try to stay as true. But showing Luffy fight Kaido more than like 10 seconds in the anime, that's not doing Kaido justice. So so the impact of Luffy surviving this Thunderbagwa in the anime, it's gonna have less of effect than it does now here in the manga. Because in the manga, Luffy survives it and it's like, whoa, like Luffy got so much stronger. But in the anime, you see Luffy survive it and it's like, wow, it's kind of cool. And it won't have the same impact, which is what I'm afraid of. But you know how animes do it. They love to prolong fight scenes because anime fights are always super hype. Having somebody say, wow, One Piece has good fights, that's a huge compliment. And it's the anime's job to portray it well. And I feel like once we hit this part of the anime where the Supernovas are fighting the Emperors, I feel like the anime will do an amazing job with the new animation style, with the new color palette. It's gonna be fucking boss. But it didn't do justice to the first fight against Luffy and Kaido. It did in some regards because it is cool, but also the impact of the fight and the impact of that first Thunderbagwa isn't there. But yeah, onto that, or off of that, we get Zoro doing his Foxfire style Fire Flame Slice, and that was pretty fucking hype. Zoro has been wrecking people left and right this entire arc, and seeing him cut Prometheus like it's nothing. Zoro ain't even sweating. Zoro, I don't even think there's can I scroll in on this bitch? There was no hockey on that whatsoever. He literally just sliced that bitch in half. No hockey, no diff, that was it. And it's nuts because he stops and he says, this is mine. And Zoro saying that, the disrespect towards Kinemon, man. Like, yeah, that's Kinemon's move, his style, he created it. But what's the point of having Kinemon around when Zoro can do anything Kinemon does now, but like 10 times better? Just saying, I was kind of hoping that the Scabbards come back at some point during this fight, maybe near the end, but I don't see that happening anymore, dude. Like, no way, no way. Like, if Kinemon comes back, he tries to cut Prometheus, you think Kinemon can do that? No. Kinemon cannot cut Prometheus, Zoro can, and yeah, sorry Kinemon, just sit down and be healed by Chopper. And then we get Traw Guy, he switches Luffy out, he shambles him away from Kaido's another swing. I don't think it's a Thunderbagwa. Essentially, Thunderbagwa is just Kaido going super fast and hitting you with the club, and then he just has his normal hits where he just hits you with the club. Kind of funny. But yeah, so Traw is just mad that he took orders from Luffy last chapter, even though he said, I was gonna put him down there anyways. I was gonna do it whether or not you said it. So they had a nice little banter there. They call each other scrubs, which I thought that was fucking hilarious. I thought I was reading a bad translation when I saw Luffy and like Kid and Law like calling each other scrubs. So I went to another manga site because I was like, yo, like this ain't the real translation. They're having fun. The translators are having a field day over here. I went to another manga site. They're still calling each other scrubs, and I was like, wow, this is actually happening. It feels like a Call of Duty like Xbox Live match or some shit. You know, me and the boys calling each other scrubs on a Saturday night. And we got, in my opinion, probably the funniest banter of all of One Piece, where they call each other scrubs for wanting to dodge, you know, Big Mom's fire attack. And then Luffy's like, hey, if you guys want to dodge, you can do that. Like, I'm gonna stay right here. And then we get all three of them taking that L. And not gonna lie, when I watch anime or read manga, I don't laugh out loud. I don't know any maniac that laughs out loud in their home by themselves, reading or watching manga or anime. But when I was scrolling through this chapter and I saw that, I genuinely laughed. Like, this was one of the few times where I was just like, ha ha ha! And I just kept on going. Like, this was pretty funny. I love the banter. I hope we get more of this later on in the future too. But after that, we have Zoro and Killer having their little time to shine, fighting Kaido, and Killer. This man has the audacity to say, if I had my Punishers when we were fighting on that bridge that day, Zoro, you would have been dead meat. You wouldn't have been here. It would have been a 4v2. The disrespect, the blasphemy that Killer just put out there, saying that he could have beaten Zoro if he had his Punishers. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Killer. Design is pretty okay. I think he has a lot of potential later on, but that doesn't negate the fact that we have not seen a single ounce of power coming from Killer throughout the entire series. This guy with his Home Depot experiment fucking swords coming in saying he can beat Zoro? Dude, where were you when Zoro just cut Prometheus in half? Where were you this entire arc when Zoro was over here, you know, taking names and cutting people down? You were in jail, dude. Just throwing it out there. I'm not saying that's a diss, but I'm just saying, like, from our perspective, we haven't seen Killer do anything throughout the entire series. At least Kid has had some portions where, you know, he's got that giant fucking arm and shit, and he's throwing like electrical components at people. Killer hasn't done a single thing. Killer has sat there with his little pinwheel fucking arms, and that's it. Like, how fast do those even go? Like what, like 30 miles an hour? Like, bro, like, what do your blades do? Like, do they even use hockey at this point, bro? I don't know. Like, I want Killer to be strong. I want Killer to be strong. But, okay, and I also don't mind the trash talk, right? Like, I don't mind when characters have that trash talk banter. It makes sense. They're all pirates. They're all trying to gun for the top spot. I'm not blaming Killer for trash talking. I'm blaming Killer for trash talking, but having nothing to back it up. You know, like, fuck the whole Zoro and Sanji debate. The Killer and Zoro debate is no contest. If you think that Killer is stronger than Zoro, you're nuts. I'm sorry, you're kind of bonkers. But yeah, I'm just saying that right now, if Killer does do something to, like, you know, put himself on that pedestal, great, good for him. Then you can trash talk. If Killer, for example, cut Kaido, gave Kaido a scar, and then he says that to Zoro, whoa, badass, dude, awesome, I love that, you know, mwah, I kiss you. But the fact that he said that with nothing to show for it makes him seem like a scrub. He's the real scrub. He took that L. So they both go in for an attack on Kaido. They both did nothing. If you've watched Bleach, it's like the Hierro, it's like the iron skin. You just can't slice them with swords. You're not strong enough yet. Zoro mentions that he needs to release more of Enma's power, which is kind of interesting because that he's still kind of to control it. If you watch the anime and obviously you read the manga, Zoro kind of unhinged Enma a little bit and it cut an entire cliffside apart without even doing anything. So what happens if Zoro let Enma, like, unleashed? Like, what if he lets that shit go? Granted, Zoro would probably die. His arm might shrivel up like a raisin. But hey, I can guarantee you that probably cut Kaido. But yeah, we get Luffy, Law, and Kid. They're all going ham. They all transform. Kid gets a little spaceship zombie thing. Luffy goes gear 4th, and Law sits on a rock. Pretty cool. And I think it's kind of funny because Law, he literally says, "I'll destroy you from within. My surgery will grant you a swift death." And Kid says, "Hey, if I can't break your skin, if I can't penetrate it, I'm gonna crush ya." And then Luffy just says, "I'm gonna hurt you," or whatever. So Luffy goes in with Kongun. You know, Kid tries to smash him, still wishes he uses Haki. And then Law is the one person that kind of does the opposite of what he mentions, you know? At least Kid and Luffy know what they're gonna do. You know, Luffy's just gonna punch him, Kid's gonna crush him. Law says he's gonna destroy him from within. And then the next thing we see of Law is he uses tact and he throws some rocks at Kaido. And it's like, Law, I was expecting like Gamma Knife, but I guess if you crush somebody's body with a bunch of boulders, I guess that will in theory destroy their insides. But I thought it was kind of silly. I feel like he could have done a little bit more, but I feel like in some regards, Law's power is very OP. If you think about it, Law's power to, like, you know, cut people in half, you know, transmutate their bodies, destroy them from within, very strong ability. I feel like this is kind of Oda's way of, like, bringing it down a notch. It's like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have Law destroy Kaido's lungs, you know? Like, maybe we shouldn't do that just yet. But yeah, we get the final panel with Kaido transforming into a dragon, Big Mom still just sitting there menacingly, And they're like, we're gonna take everything from you guys. We're gonna take your Nakama, your poneglyphs, your will to live, and we're gonna become king of the pirates. And it's pretty cool. Although I do have a pretty quick theory about this. This entire chapter, if you look back at it, it's solely, while it is Big Mom and Kaido versus the Supernova, it's really just Kaido versus the Supernova. Other than Big Mom throwing the fireballs and, using Prometheus in the beginning after being cut by Zoro, this fight is really just Kaido. Everybody is dishing attacks out on Kaido. Where is Big Mom in this equation? And my theory is that Big Mom is purposefully sitting on the sidelines. Big Mom is purposefully saving her energy, not getting hurt, because in the very end, Kaido is gonna be on his knees. Like Luffy, Law, Kid, Killer, Zoro, they're gonna bring Kaido down, and Kaido's gonna have like an ounce left. Maybe even Kaido wins this fight. Maybe Kaido is barely standing. He's using his his Oni club to like stand himself up, and he's like, "Oh, you guys put up a really good fight, but I won in the end." And then you see Big Mom stab Kaido in the back. I would not be surprised. Big Mom, with all of her energy reserves, with Big Mom barely getting hurt, with Big Mom floating on her cloud, away from everybody, Big Mom comes in at the very end and lands the finishing blow on Kaido. Everybody was saying, hey, Blackbeard's gonna come out and beat Kaido and steal his Devil Fruit. But what if Big Mom is the not actually Blackbeard, but the Blackbeard in that equation? What if Big Mom is just gonna betray Kaido at the very end? Imagine this from her perspective here. She's strong, she knows Kaido is strong, and if she fights Kaido, there's a chance she might not win. Kaido might be a little bit stronger, or maybe they'll just have a stalemate. You can never beat Kaido. And Big Mom wants his poneglyph because she wants to become queen of the pirates, right? So imagine this golden opportunity arrives where you see 5 youngsters about to beat Kaido. Something that you could never really do yourself, something that would take you all of your strength. But you see these 5 guys beating Kaido, and all you have to do is land that finishing blow, and then you've beaten Kaido, one less giant threat to the Pirate King throne. You take his poneglyphs, and the 5 supernovas that you were trying to beat, they're all done. They're all on the floor, they're lying down in defeat, and you're good. Nobody can stop you. That's what I'm thinking is gonna happen. That is her ultimate plan, is to backstab Kaido. I'm throwing that out there. I'm making these big brain predictions here. But yeah, what do you guys think about this chapter? I think it was awesome. I really do think this was an amazing chapter. It really sucks that we are going on break next week. We already waited 2 weeks for a chapter. We have to wait another week for another one. But if it stays like this, where it's nothing but fight scenes, I am okay with that. So reading this chapter, I was really afraid that at one point we would skip over to something else, whether we go back to Marco, whether we go to the Sanji fight, which, Sanji, please come up here. Sanji, please show up. We need to end the Sanji and Zoro debates. At least show up here, man. And I feel like I'm glad we didn't go to any of those parts because, reading this chapter, it's so good. Imagine if we're reading this chapter and halfway in, it stops and it goes to Chopper. And Chopper's healing everybody, or, Chopper's fighting off more ice demons. Then it's like, bro, you gotta go with the momentum. And Oda obviously knows that. He says, wow, this chapter is so hype, we cannot end it on a slow note. We gotta keep on building this shit up. So I'm really curious to see what next chapter is. Will we get more fights? Will we stop and go somewhere else? Because I do think that while we have 5 people here fighting Kaido and Big Mom, I feel like we will get more people assisting later on. Whether that be the other supernovas like Apu, Hawkins and Drake, whether Sanji comes up here, or the rest of the Straw Hats, Jinbei comes up here, Yamato comes up here, who knows? But I feel like we will get more people in this fight. We do have that little red 9 shadow thing from Toki the Prophecy. We did think it was the 9 Scabbards. It's not them because they obviously cut an L. So who is that gonna be? We got Apu, we got Hawkins, we got fucking Drake down there. They can come up, that makes 8. Who's the last person? It could be Jinbei. That's a very viable option. He is very strong, he's a warlord of the sea. It could be Yamato. Yamato is very strong. We haven't seen what she can do, and how much of a final blow would it be if Yamato attacked her father to end the fight, That'd be really cool. Or is it Sanji to end the Sanji and Zoro debates? Thank God, please Sanji, come up here. Those fights are, the debate's getting kind of crazy. Or is it another Supernova that we haven't seen quite yet? What if, you know, like we know that Capone was there with Jinbei before Jinbei came here. What if Capone was just lagging behind? What if Jinbei just rode elephants What if Jinbei rode whales all the way to Wano? And then Capone's like, yeah, me and my fucking castle, we'll take a minute, so you go ahead. So hey, who knows? Anything could be possible. What are your guys' thoughts in the comments down below? Please let me know. I would love to converse with you guys. Show me and share with me those One Piece theories. Let me know what you thought about this chapter. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you watched up to this point, I don't think anybody did. But yeah, I'll catch you guys next week or 2 weeks from now. My name is Sai, and I'll see you guys later.